Hello everyone, welcome back to the Castle of Dr. Brain. Okay, so last time we were here, and still are here, in the computer hall, and we had finished the puzzle over here and the puzzle over here. So there's not much left to do except to use this terminal here on the door that leads out of this room and forward. So this part is pretty straightforward. We have just a few jokes here, a few jokey riddles, or I guess riddles that are jokes or jokes that are riddles. And I think on the easiest level, I think you have to answer 3 of them. On the medium level, you have to answer 4 of them. And on the so-called expert level, you have to answer 5 of them. But they're all pretty straightforward. What's special about the way a robot plant grows? Let's see. Probably not a calculator. Probably not multiply. Probably not apply CPU. It has square roots. That makes sense. We'll press C. Si, senor. Okay, what kind of computer does a dairy farmer use? Okay, that's probably the calculator. These are not that difficult to figure out, quite honestly. There we go, a calculator. This is sort of comic relief, because honestly, these are not difficult. Why do robots always take the longest path between 2 points? To avoid short circuits. Well, that actually kind of makes sense. I mean, yeah, actually, in order to avoid shorts in electronics, you do need to have longer paths. You don't necessarily need to take the longest path, but you need to not take the shortest path. Okay, avoid short circuits. Moving on. What do robot rabbits do best? Well, those of you who have played Shadow Warrior may remember rabbits like to multiply. I think, wasn't there a company called Procreate or something that had a rabbit as its logo for that reason? Okay, and by process of elimination, what should you do when a robot is having a heart attack? The last possible answer is B, which is apply CPU. Obviously a joke on CPR. Just as a side note, you can get yourself stuck in this room. I did it once, because remember, these answers are actually what we picked up in the robot maze here through the left-hand door. But it is possible to finish the robot maze without getting all of those answers. If you don't get all the answers, you can still exit the robot maze. It just means you won't have all the answers for these questions here. And if you answer some of these questions, you basically lose those. You lose those answers. So then what happens is, if you come back here, it will ask you the first question again, which I think was the one about what is special about how a robot plant grows, and you'll have to say C again, but you can't say C because you've already given that answer, and it won't let you give the same answer again. It's grayed out now. So if you are playing this game, make sure you get all of the answers from the robot maze before trying to get out of this room, because otherwise you'll get stuck. Okay, anyway, apply CPU. You've solved enough riddles so the robots think you're their kind of humanoid. The door opens. What robots, you might ask? These robots. You're in a large room filled with spare robot parts. The room is dominated by a large glass case containing a simple maze. That's this here. A robot torso is attached to one end of the maze. That you can't really see it very well because it's behind the message box, but that's this thing here. You also see a computer console on the table near the front of the room. That is this thing here. As you enter the room, the 3 robot heads on the shelf begin to speak. You know that Dr. Brain has created 3 models of robots. One kind is programmed to always tell the truth, another kind always lies, and the 3rd model alternately tells the truth and lies. Okay, so this guy says, I am programmed to always follow instructions precisely. Iron Face also follows instructions precisely. I am programmed to always follow instructions precisely. Saucer Head never follows orders correctly.
I am programmed to always follow instructions precisely. I am the only precise order follower here.
I think, oh, I didn't have time to try it again. I was going to try to read that in a different voice, but that's okay. So each of these 3 robot heads is obviously a different model. Only the truth-telling head will follow your programming precisely, the lying head will always do the opposite of what you tell it, and the confused head will alternately follow your instructions or do the reverse of them. So it alternates between following what you do and doing the reverse of what you say. So this puzzle is one of the most convoluted in the game, perhaps, because it has a few different levels. So first of all, you need to discern, obviously, which robot head tells the truth. and which ones don't. Now, probably the easiest way to do that, if you don't want to puzzle it out, is just try it. Just grab a random head and put it on this thing here. This is the robot torso labeled I am a robot. So just grab a random head, put it on the thing here, and see if it follows your instructions correctly. If not, then try a different one. So you just by trial and error, you can find the one which follows instructions correctly. But on the expert level, where we are, you need to use all three heads, because after you use one once, it breaks. So actually, and you have to do three. There are three things. There we go. Yeah. So the box contains a maze attached to the blah 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 blah. In the maze are three things. There's a smooth sheet of stiff plastic with something printed on it. There's a large blue book, and there's an iron plate inscribed with a picture of a robot. So you need to get all these three things, which means you need to basically go through the maze 3 times. And again, every time you do it, the head that you're using breaks if you're on expert difficulty. On the easiest difficulty, you can just use the truth-telling head every time, and that makes it easier. But here you have to use all three heads. So yeah, and also because there are three things in the maze, you have to use the correct hand, quote, hand unquote, to pick up those things. That's these three things here. So this is a dart gun which can fire a dart with a soft rubber tip. It should be able to grab and hold a lightweight, smooth-surfaced object. That would be this smooth sheet of stiff plastic with something printed on it. This here is a miniature forklift designed to carry fairly large and heavy objects. That is, that's going to be the large blue book. You might think the iron plate is also heavy. Well, it probably is, but the iron plate you pick up with this electromagnet, because it can pick up a moderately heavy metallic object. So that's what you do with these three things. That's fairly clear. So let's go ahead and first try to puzzle out which head is telling the truth. So the first one to speak was this guy. Now he says, this is the propeller head robot. He says, or she, I mean, I don't know if these robots are male or female, but okay, I'll just say it. I hope that's not insulting to robot. So the robot says, I am programmed to always follow instructions precisely. Iron Face also follows instructions precisely. Now, that right away tells you that this robot is not telling the truth completely. The propeller robot cannot be completely truthful because, as the game explicitly told us, there's only one robot which also follows instructions precisely. There's one robot which follows your instructions precisely, there's one which does the opposite of what you say, and there's one which alternates between doing what you say and doing the opposite. So this guy is lying at least once. So this guy cannot be entirely truthful. So who is the truth teller? That leaves either this guy or this guy. This guy says he's programmed to always follow instructions precisely. Saucerhead never follows orders correctly. Okay, so we can't really... We don't know from this. I mean, he could be telling the truth, or it could be that maybe the first statement is the truth and the second one is a lie. We don't know. It's like that classic puzzle. You've probably heard of this classic puzzle where there are two people. One always tells the truth and one always lies, and you have to figure out how to formulate a question to them to get the right answer to escape from the room. There's actually a name for that type of puzzle. I forget what the name is now, but I remember, I think on Wikipedia there's actually an article about exactly that type of puzzle, because it's a sort of a subgenre of logic puzzle. But anyway, okay, so we don't know from this guy's statement if he's telling the truth or not, but okay, and the Saucerhead robot says, I'm programmed to always follow instructions precisely. I'm the only precise order follower here. That seems plausible, because there is only one precise order follower here, and he says, I'm programmed to always follow instructions precisely. So I guess the way that you're supposed to solve this puzzle is make a conjecture, make a hypothesis. Let's hypothesize that Saucerhead is telling the truth, that he's the only precise order follower here. Okay, so that would then mean that this guy's the one telling the truth, and which of these guys is is always lying, and which one tells lies half the time? Let's see. So if we assume that this guy's telling the truth, then this guy's statements, I'm programmed to always follow instructions precisely, that would be a lie. And Saucerhead never follows orders correctly, that would also be a lie. So if Saucerhead is telling the truth, iron-faced statements are both false. Propellerhead then says, I'm programmed to always follow instructions precisely. That would be a lie if Saucerhead is the truth teller. And Ironface also follows instructions precisely. That would also be a lie if Saucerhead is telling the truth. So, if Saucerhead is telling the truth, then both of this robot statements and both of this robot statements would be lies, which is not the case. One of the robots lies half the time and then tells the truth the other half of the time. So Saucerhead cannot be telling the truth, because then both of these guys would be always lying. And this guy cannot be telling the truth because, again, these statements go against the rules of the puzzle. There are not two robots which always follow instructions precisely. So both of these guys said at least something which doesn't fit, which is a lie. So by process of elimination, Ironface must be the truthful robot. So this guy is the truthful robot. This guy they call Ironface. Now that we know that he's telling the truth, that everything he says and does is true, okay, he's programmed to always follow instructions precisely, okay, and Saucerhead never follows orders correctly. There you go. The truth-telling robot says that Saucerhead never follows orders correctly. That means that Saucerhead is the pure liar. Everything he says is a lie. Both of these statements are lies, and everything he does will be the opposite of what you tell him to do. And Propellerhead is the mixed robot. So the first statement is a lie. I'm programmed to always follow instructions precisely. That is a lie. But his second statement, Ironface follows instructions precisely, is the truth. Okay, the word also is actually doesn't fit, but yeah, that's the way the puzzle works. So this guy, Ironface, always does what you tell him to do. This guy always does the opposite, and this guy alternates between doing what you say and doing the opposite. So that's how you solve that puzzle. There we go. That's the first part of the puzzle, but that's only the first part of the puzzle. Then I think I said this puzzle is pretty involved. I mean, that's just like the initial sort of logic premise for the puzzle. Now we have to actually perform the puzzle. So we've got this glass case here, and we can't just reach inside and pull these things out. There's this drop slot here, so you have to program the robot to drop things into the slot from inside. Down here is it's a shoe with rubberized insulation for working with electrical circuitry. Okay. Oh, it's a power strip. Supplies power to the robot box and to the Robocom programming console. Can we unplug everything? Zap. These circuits don't seem to be properly grounded. Better leave the power cords alone. Okay, that seems dangerous, but... Ooh. Tools and spare robot parts, including interactive whatchamacallit. Ooh, a left-handed screwdriver. A set of draft resistors. I think that's the same pun they made before. But we can't take anything from there because we don't need anything from there. Okay, and over here there is a plate with the remains of a robot cookie. That's funny, you thought robots only like chips. The cookie doesn't look very appetizing, the plate looks even tougher. Okay, alright, well, yeah, so this is all good fun, but yeah, so the main action here, I mean, the centerpiece obviously is this, but we can't work with this directly. We have to work with the computer. And so we put in a yellow card here. I think, where did we get those yellow cards? Didn't we get them from... Wait, where did we get them from? They show up in our inventory, don't they? Or they did. Oh, okay, they used to until it... Hold on. Yeah, here we go. It's a programmable magnetic data card. It can be used to transfer information between different computer systems. Where did we get this from? We got this from a previous room. Did we get this from the computer room, or did we get this from the math room? I don't even remember now. Okay, anyway, but we have it now. So here's the deal. This is the maze. It's a pretty simple maze, right? Yeah, it's fairly straightforward. That there is the blue book. That's the plastic clue sheet, and that's the iron plaque. So we program the robot using very simple instructions. We have just 6 instructions that we can use. Left, right, up, down, on, and off. And the robot starts here, and we need to get the robot to pick up one thing and then bring it over here. This is the drop slot here. That's all fairly straightforward and fairly simple. The problem is then figuring out how far the robot needs to move. So let's go ahead and start off with the blue book, for example. So the robot starts here, and the robot needs to go right, up, and left. I'm getting confused now. I'm beginning to get like those robots that do the wrong thing half the time. Right, up, and left. Now, I think this does not use relative directions. So what you might think, in some programming scenarios, you might tell the robot to go right and then forward. But I think this is not turn right. So the ambiguity here comes from, are these directions absolute or relative? If you click on this, does that make the robot go to the right, or does that make the robot turn to the right, so that the robot's facing right? And then you need to click on this to make the robot actually go forward. I think these are absolute, so this actually makes the robot go to the right. So basically we do this. We go right, forward, which actually means, I think, up in this particular puzzle, and then left. Then we need to turn on. It just says turn on. It doesn't mean turn on in the sexual sense. Unfortunately, it means turn on the hand thingy. So we're going for the blue book as the first thing. So turn on, that picks up the book, and then you go right down, and then do we go left twice? This is what makes this puzzle difficult. There's no grid here, so you kind of have to guess, and it's not always easy to tell how far the robot would go. You might think that this is a 3x4 grid, because it looks, I mean, really it is kind of, I guess it's 3 squares wide and 4 squares high, so you might think, okay, to go from here to here, you go up twice, but I think that might actually be 3 motions. I'm not sure about that now. I think that to go from this corner here to this corner here, you might have to go up 3 times and not 2. But let's try it with 2 and see if that works. So we've gone up twice, so that's here. So we need to go right up, right up. So right up, and then say turn off to turn off the hand thing. Okay, let's see if that works. We click on save. Commands printed to data card, and now we have our card here with the instructions. So we need to stick the card into the slot here. This is a card slot for a data card. But before we can put that on, we'll need to put a robot head and one of these hands on this torso here. So let's go ahead and start off things easy. Let's go ahead and put Iron Head here as the first guy, because he's the one who always does what we want him to do. And since we're going for the book, we'll need this forklift hand, because that's the one that will actually pick up the book. Okay, let's go ahead now and stick our card in the machine and see how it works. So it first checks to see if a head or arm are present, and if not, then it will abort before trying to run the program. But let's see, systems all check. So, and turned on. Okay, so far so good. We got the book. Yep. Just as I thought. See, if you go up twice, you end up stuck here because you didn't go up far enough. So we need to actually, yeah. And if the program fails for whatever reason, the robot automatically returns the item to where it was, and we have to debug the program. So what we do here is click on up here to move to where those instructions were. We're here, so we go ahead and say insert to insert one instruction, and then add one more, go up. There we go. Okay. So now from here to here, it'll go up 3 times. So it's like 1, 2, 3. That's the really annoying thing about this puzzle. The sequel to this game, The Island of Dr. Brain, has a puzzle very similar to this one. It has another programming puzzle, which basically the idea is the same as this, but it has an actual grid, so you don't need to kind of guess how far distances are. You know, because it uses a standardized square grid, which eliminates at least this problem of having to guess how many times you need to tell the robot to move. So, okay, let's go ahead and try this. This should work now. See, the pre-check goes faster after the first time it passes. So we got the book, made it that far. Nice. Okay. Nice. Item delivered. You see the blue book in the pocket and pick it up. All right. Okay, so yeah, and see this head is now broken. So when it pops out on a spring like that, that means it needs to be replaced. And also the forklift disappeared, but that's okay because we don't need it anymore. Let's take a quick look at this book here. It's a large blue book entitled Solomon's Key. You think it wise to keep it around for a while. What is Solomon's Key? I mean, I know Solomon was known for his wisdom, but is that Solomon's Key? Is Solomon's Key a metaphor or a metonym for his wisdom, or is that an actual book? You know what, I'm curious now. Let me actually, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but let me just quickly check. Is there an actual book titled Solomon's Key? I could believe that there might be. Okay. No, actually, there appears to be a video game titled Solomon's Key. Okay, I did not even realize that Solomon's Key is a game. Yeah, okay, it's not a, not a book. Is the game similar to this one? Is it like a top-down sort of programming game like this? I don't think so. It looks like a platformer. I don't know. I think it seems to be an action game. Or no, actually no. It's maybe it's okay. Maybe it's similar to this. I don't know. Maybe this game is acknowledging that it got the idea for this puzzle from Solomon's Key. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, sorry to get sidetracked there. I was just curious. Okay, so what are we going for next? Let's go for let's do the iron plate. I am iron plate. So we're going to put that on there, and let's go ahead and put saucer head on here. This is the guy who always lies, and so we'll just need to remember to do the opposite of whatever we want. So let's go ahead and put the card in, and I'll just hit clear to clear the old program. Okay, so what we need to do here to get the iron plate up here is go left once, up 3 times, because the distance from here to here is 3 instructions, right, up, and then left. Pick up the plaque, go, I guess, right twice, and then up, and drop the plaque. But we need to do it in reverse because we're using the saucer head guy. So left means right. We need to go up 3 times, so down, down, down. Need to go right, so left. Need to go up, so down. And need to go left, so right. Now we need to pick up the plaque, so to turn on the hand, we say turn it off. Go right twice, so that's left twice. Up once, that's down once, and then drop the plaque by turning the thing off, so say turn on. Save the program, and let's see if that works. Hey, look at that. Item delivered, okay. And this guy is now broken, so we'll need to put propeller head on last, and this is the suction cup thing, which will work for that little piece of plastic, that little plastic sheet. Let's see, this plaque shows that we've solved the robot. I guess this is supposed to be the reward for solving the puzzle, but we didn't actually solve the puzzle. You can get this ahead of time by just picking it up whenever you want, but we haven't finished yet. We need to do the last run with this guy to get that clue sheet. So, now, this guy is probably the hardest to program with because every single time you have to keep track of, is he going to do the right thing or is he going to do the opposite? So, to start off, we go left. Then we need to go up 3 times. So we say down, up, down. The next instruction, he should do what we want, so we say go right. And then to go right again, we say go left. Now he should do what we want, so we say turn on to turn the hand on. And then we say go right to go left. Now we want to go up, so we should be able to do that by saying up, go right by saying left, and then go up by saying up, and then turn off the hand by saying turn it on. All right, is that gonna work? Let's see what happens. Oops. That would have been perfect, but okay. So the distance from here to here is also 3 movements. Okay, that's not too bad. So that just means here where we say turn on. Oh dear, but that means we need to correct all the... Darn it, that means we need to correct all the later instructions because now the alternating sequence is reversed. So I'll say insert here to insert an instruction, and then we need to move him 1 more to the right. So from here, from this corner to this corner is 3 movements to the right. So move right, move left, and now we say move right. But now, instead of saying turn on, we have to say turn off. Now, okay, I just need to reverse these. So move right becomes move left, move up becomes move down, move left becomes move right, and move forward becomes move down, and then turn on becomes turn off. Okay. All right, let's see. Is that going to work now? Yes, it did. Whoops. Oh dear, I need to go left twice to move up through here. So from where we pick up the sheet to getting... So from where we picked up the sheet to being able to move through this gap here, we need to move left twice. So after turn off, I'll say move left, insert a new instruction, move right, so that he actually moves left a second time. And then, because the alternating order of correct and false, or do the right thing and do the opposite thing, because the order is reversed again, that means I'll need to reverse all these again. So move backward again becomes move forward, move right becomes move left, move backward becomes move forward, or up actually. It's not really forward or backward, it's up and down, and then turn off becomes turn on again. Okay, save that and try running that. All right. You see the plastic clue sheet in the pocket and pick it up. And the robot brakes, the elevator door opens, and we move automatically into the elevator. This is the second elevator. There are actually 3 elevator puzzles in this game, and they're all annoying. Okay, so just curious, what's with this clue sheet here? Oh. Well... This is not particularly readable, but perhaps we'll be able to do something about that later. Actually, those of you who want to can already try to decode this if you want. And if you actually decode this all yourself, then then my kudos to you for actually doing this whole thing yourself. No, we don't need to decode all this ourselves. There will be a way to do that later. But for now, I think that's enough for one video. I'll go ahead and stop here. So yeah. That puzzle, the robot programming puzzle, would be a lot better if the thing were on a grid so that you could actually see how many movements you have to make. That's my only real complaint about it. Other than that, it's kind of a cool puzzle, but not being able to tell whether you need to move 2 steps or 3 steps can sometimes mess you up. So it's a little annoying. It's not horrible. It's not the worst puzzle in the game, maybe. Or is it maybe? Yeah, it probably isn't. But it's definitely, it might be one of the most involved puzzles in the game. It's because, like I said, first you have to figure out which heads are telling the truth. Then you have to figure out which hand to use with each object, which isn't that difficult, I guess. Then you have to actually do the whole programming, and then you have to insert instructions and correct things if something goes wrong. Yeah, it's a little convoluted. Anyway, let's go ahead and save here. Yeah, first we finished the robot maze, and now we finished the robot programming, but I'll say in second elevator. Loving an elevator. Okay, that is all for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for coming along with me on this wonderful robot programming journey in the castle of Dr. Brain, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.